I don't know the brand.
Anyway.
I think it was LG Blackberry. Walai. Sorry, LG had Blackberry. I'm serious. I'm very serious.
Fact check, please. You ask fact check.
There was one Blackberry.
I'm
serious.
Can you help us
fact check? Fact check.
I'm serious. I don't know. I don't know if it's LG. Wait, calm down. I don't know if it's LG, but there was one Blackberry thing. My father used it for a while, then he gave it to us.
Hi, welcome to Japa Chronicles, an immigration podcast where we'll be talking to you about the latest information on international studies, travel, and migration. My name is Oladipo Adebowale. Sit tight and enjoy episode sponsored by my Japa Limited. Thank you. Japa Chronicles, the very first video recorded podcast. With me today, I'm going to have two of my colleagues and partners in crime for the day. I've got Isaac, our co-host today, and Eunice.
Hi.
We're basically going to be talking about, Japa, as we have been doing for a while now. We just go right into it. Everybody's down. You want to introduce yourselves first?
I'm Isaac.
What do you do for a living?
I'm many things, man. Nigeria will make you many things. So I'm a writer. I'm a podcaster. But then I won't plug my podcast here. What else do I do? I write, basically. That's just me. That's me.
I think being a Nigerian is a job description. Is a task.
In short, I'm a Nigerian youth.
Exactly.
So you understand that I have a teacher's job.
Being a Nigerian right now, that one itself is work. Right. So Eunice, you want to tell us about yourself in 20 seconds?
Hi, I'm Eunice. I'm a business development manager. That's what I do. I'm not a writer like some people, but you know.
I think you can say
I'm good with comms. So you can say
you should say you're a communication specialist. That's really your first. That's your first love, right? Yes. And a budding.
I'm a comms specialist too. I have practiced, but I haven't. I told you I do many things in Nigeria. I don't make it do anything.
Where did you practice?
Please don't put you on this spot. But I actually have practiced.
Okay, so if you guys are wondering, there's a lot of this is private school banter. This is Babcock
versus C
Covenant. I don't even know where I should say my own private school.
Say it with your chest. Carry it with your chest.
This is Leeds University. So this is like the battle of the private universities. But wait. Now first class you carry.
But the arrangement is first, second, third.
No,
let's
actually,
talk about the first class.
This is she. I know she has a first class.
Which was the first class? Oh, me. I went to school. Leave it like that. I went to school.
Yeah. So this is. You and I were on the podcast a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about
exactly
2 weeks ago.
Exactly a week.
No, 2 weeks from 2 weeks ago.
Oh yes, 2 weeks.
Yeah,
it was 2 weeks.
And we were talking about the presidential election at the time. I don't know that you started a podcast.
Expression.
I don't know that you can talk about. You know that 2 weeks ago when we were on that podcast, I was excited. I was optimistic.
We had that strong belief. I think we had that belief because of the outcome of the presidential here in Lagos.
I just want to. I know we have to talk about it because it's live recorded and whatnot. But I don't know about you, but I don't think I have much to say. What are your thoughts?
I just want to. I need to get a lot of things off my chest. I might go too deep, but I think the issue of tribalism in Nigeria is unnecessary.
Yeah,
I think tribalism defined this election, especially this Lagos State election, because outside the violence and everything, there were people who genuinely believe that a certain candidate should not be voted in because he's not full-blooded Yoruba. Yeah.
Or because his name.
Yeah, or because
his name is actually Chinedu.
Yeah, exactly. Because he has an Igbo name.
And then his wife is Igbo.
He's Igbo. And all
then,
that.
of course, their surname is not Yoruba.
It's not Yoruba.
Yeah. And that's the problem with them removing history from our curriculum. It's sad. I'm a bit tired. I'm a bit mentally drained about the situation.
I'm feeling very defeated.
But did you vote?
Yeah, no, I didn't vote for the governorship election.
What happened?
So where I registered is not in Lagos.
Oh, okay. You couldn't go.
And where I registered, I didn't even know the candidates. I mean, I only know one of the candidates, and that's the sitting governor. And to me, I won't say the state, but it's for me, it's a
no need.
It's gone. That state is gone. Do you get? So I didn't see the need to come. What's that?
Brutal. Dirty.
Eunice, what are your thoughts? What was that? What was it like for you? And I'm particularly asking you. I mean, you guys are. I mean, still. Do we call you Gen Z?
Very much Gen Z.
Yeah. So
proudly.
I don't know how.
I don't like to associate myself as a Gen Z.
So what do you associate yourself? Baby boomer.
A woman.
All right. So, but as someone on the, we say the younger side of life, right?
Thank you, Bradipo.
Yes, someone on the younger side of life. What were your thoughts? What was your thoughts on the election?
I wasn't happy, although I don't have my PVC. I did not vote because I don't have my PVC ready. Why are you shaking your head?
I mean what?
But seeing how it all played out, I was really disturbed because for us, seeing the LP, Labour Party and all the clamoring and everything, so like, oh, there was still hope for us.
Yeah.
And then we waiting for the gubernatorial election, seeing how Lagos indigenes came out and voted for LP.
Yeah.
I really felt like, okay, the Labour Party is going to get it.
Yeah.
But then it just shows us that Nigeria has a long way to go.
For me, I felt like from the presidential, the gubernatorial, I felt like it made us powerless. Like, cause we saw what happened, we saw what played out in the presidential, but we couldn't do anything in the gubernatorial.
Yeah.
Like we saw the whole violence and everything, but it's like, okay, what can you do?
But funny enough, I don't think the presidential had violence like that.
I mean, in some places,
it wasn't so violent.
It wasn't as violent.
I don't think they recorded deaths like that in Lagos. Maybe one. I'm not sure they recorded in.
I can't recall.
This gubernatorial was bloody.
Yeah, it was bloody.
I mean, I probably am going to try to take a couple of minutes to speak from my mind. I feel sick to my stomach. I don't know that there's any other way to slice it. So with the presidential, we know who won. It was clear. It was somewhat fair in that they allowed us to vote. Even though this, Isaac, I'll tell you, I think tribalism is really just some. You know how when we're in school, I mean, this is an education podcast. When we're in school, when they are defining stuff and they're like, list the following. Tribalism is like one of the following under racism. Yeah. Everybody else says tribalism, religious, ethnic, blah, blah. Everything is under racism.
But to be honest, I can't even lie. Like until last year, or until this year, I didn't know that it was this deep in Nigeria.
Yeah, and so with PO, we saw people sort of just like cut him down. I mean, I'm Yoruba, born in Lagos, so I mean, we don't have time today to talk about. That's not why we're here. Talking about if I'm born in Lagos, I should be Lagosian or any of these things. I'm born in Lagos, born in Ikeja, right? My parents are both Yoruba. It doesn't make sense to me that people of our parents' age, in their 60s, 50s, 70s, they think that I shouldn't trust an Igbo man because he would sell us or sell our.
That's how they always say it.
Two, three things. The first thing is education. And I mean, we just dive right into what this podcast is supposed to be about, right? Is that it's funny the chronicles of what education really is supposed to be and what it is. Because some of our parents schooled abroad, so it's not by. It's not by going to the best.
It's not by going to the best schools. It's not by having the highest certificates.
Yes. Why will I think that of all the 18 candidates, there was somebody better than Peter Obi? Like based on the track record, based on all the things these guys said for 9 months. If you bring out anything that is contrary to what I'm saying, or contrary to character, competence, and capacity, I will step down.
Go and verify.
We didn't see one thing.
For 9 good months.
The other 2 candidates have a laundry list of rumors. And I mean, for a fact that...
Sorry, let me add, with people that place curse on them.
Yeah.
Because I was hearing about Obasanjo having said that as long as he's alive, this guy will never be president.
But like these guys have a whole laundry list And so they allowed us to vote. It was still somewhat fair, but we know we won. Like the opposition party says, in Lagos alone, they had over
900,000 votes.
So, so that's the first thing, right? Is education. Now, the second thing is this guy who is now the governor-elect in Lagos. He spent 3 weeks because, it was 2 weeks then. They moved it by 1 week because of the court case. This guy spent that 3 weeks. All of a sudden, he was campaigning. He didn't go for any gubernatorial debate. He didn't appear on any station.
He was going to lick ice cream.
Then all of a sudden, he started doing Usher.
They sent me SMS.
All of a sudden, he started increasing salaries.
Yes.
And so jokes aside, I'm sick to my stomach. And my family doesn't like me talking about it, but it's not conceivable that I will not go into public leadership. I mean, I'm already in school for public leadership, but it's not conceivable that I can allow people that are inconsistent and are just not good people to lead. Because the current governor says he's part of us as the body of Christ, for instance. What has he done for us? He comes to the church regularly. He shows his teeth. He speaks.
He's pointing. He's pointing at something.
He cannot talk or acknowledge the NSAS matter.
Did you see what he said? I think 2
I
days
saw it
ago.
on I think like 2.1 of this radio
did you say?
stations saying that we should get over.
We should get over it or something like that.
So he spent that 3 weeks doing top of mind marketing. I mean, wise, so that when he wins, it will not be like. So that when he wins, it will not be like it wasn't rigged. So now the question that I'm asking him, and this is not the church and religious podcast, but for the pastors who allowed him into our place, right? What are you now going to do? Are the pastor going to tell us now that he didn't know what the thugs were doing or that the thugs were working for him? Let's leave that. I'm sick to my stomach, my brother. But let's
sorry, that's something that was a conversation. I think the day of the election, like, pastors. Do the pastors would they act like, these things didn't happen?
That thing was a bant on Twitter.
Because he would actually go to a church and do Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
He's definitely going to do Thanksgiving. Yeah. And everybody would dance and smile.
I saw Okowa, the Delta State governor, doing Thanksgiving with this guy.
Are you serious?
I was laughing at these guys are just funny. But, I mean, that's the reality. And this election is probably one of the things that has forced us to start doing a video recording of a podcast. I mean, we started this, we felt, okay, we'll just do some audio and just really talk about what Japa is and all that. Yes. But the reality from this election is really now what has motivated us to even want to do more.
Yeah.
I want to say more.
I mean, people keep calling us every day.
I
just want to go.
Everybody wants to.
I don't know how.
To be honest, after when I was seeing what happened, when I was seeing what was happening on Saturday, like on Twitter and everything, I'm like, let me call my guy and tell him, Mr. Diko, what's the way forward? Because, bro, it's crazy. It's scary.
It just feels like your destiny, or will I say your future here in Nigeria, is already shaky.
Yeah.
Whatever you planned, you don't know how it will go again.
You know the funny thing? People used to say when you have money in when you have money in Nigeria, you don't really feel. But look at what happened in VGC. Rich people could not vote. They told them to come to the Express. With all your money and power, they called. It was later on, they now had to move their election to Sunday. So whether you have money or not, Nigeria is not still...
It's sad. Moving on. Basically, why are we here? Why does Japa Chronicles now exist post the election? And
why is he smiling? I don't even know. Why are you smiling?
I mean, I'm happy to talk about Japa now because that's the way forward. I mean, all of us know is the way forward.
Let me tell you something funny, right? I've been dealing with a couple of emotional. I had some loss in recent last week. One of my brothers in my cycling club lost his wife and all that, and we were talking about this Japa bug because the guy who called me to say, "Oh, Captain, so and so has lost his wife," he said, "I'm calling you from the UK," and I began to count maybe 40, 50 people from my cycling club as Japa. And people don't understand. I know I'm responsible.
The wave.
First.
The wave. It's coming like a wind, taking everybody.
First,
I'm
this
saying.
is how you know this man is rich. Because cycling is not. We're not talking bicycle. We're not talking.
It's true.
We're not talking all those village bicycle. Like these are all these like proper BMX and DMX. What do you call it?
I actually is a giant.
See what I'm saying?
I use a
If
giant.
you
But
Google it
that's
now, that's like 1.2 thereabouts. Okay. What?
HR will not review salaries. HR will not review salaries. But I use a giant. So I mean, the reality is that everybody around me now
Is it even?
they Japa, you know. And
Last year, when I was in my postgrad,
Mhm.
so I was in class one morning, and my friend just texted me, "Oh, they just approved my visa to Canada." And the week before, the weekend, someone just left for France. On my just went to call my pops. What was the thing got to me like I don't have any friend in Lagos again. The thing touched me like bro, everybody's going.
It's funny that you mentioned France. Like my one of my oldest and dearest experiences, you know, in starting labor education is the very first person that I sent to France. Funny enough, CU student, like maybe she was even in your set. I think she studied sociology.
So I think, please link us.
I knew it. That was the next thing to be linking.
Is she still there?
No, she's not in the UK.
She's probably married, most likely married.
Soon, actually.
Soon. And soon is not signed and delivered yet now.
Is he trying to?
Yes, now. Don't you know this man?
Let's focus on the matter at hand. You know, but it's a funny story. I met when she was 7. I met about 7 of them at okay. So we used to be at Allen before.
Oh, yeah.
The office used to be at Allen. By the way, I work for Ile Education. If you have not mentioned, Ile Education, and so Ile's main office was at Allen Kedagimisola. So one morning, I was going to the office. She was serving, and there were like 5 babes and 1 guy, or something. 6 babes and 1 guy. I guess it was one of them's birthday, you know. And they came in her car. I didn't even know at the time it was her car, but funny story. I was still jumping a pep. Not that I did not have. Not that I did not have even one saying that.
We understand.
Back in the trenches.
But back in the trenches, right? So I came down from in a pep when I saw them, and my spirit just felt like I did talk to them. But there were 5 babes. And you know how it is now. Particularly with this Gen Z.
I go shank you.
Once you approach any of these Gen Z babes,
I can't relate.
Shank.
Not them that approach me.
You know. And so I waited for them. I was like outside for like maybe I was outside for like 10 seconds. I was thinking about 15 seconds. And just like you rightly said, growing up, I was never the kind of guy that liked to approach girls. I liked for the conversations to just happen. Because I didn't want to the rejection. Whether it was friendship or anything, right?
You were a bookworm, Abi?
Yeah. So, and I said, okay, at least the guy out of them will be maybe friendly. That one was actually for me. The guy was not like, I miss them.
Are you serious?
Person don't guess this girl.
You go from everything.
Bro.
Now in the wrong things.
I wanted to go back. But I approached them and they actually went very nice. Maybe, of course, I think so. They were CU and maybe BU. There was a mix
always
of
nice
private.
There's always you in it.
So I approached them and I spoke to them and they took my card. And the girls were actually very nice. And I wished the one that was, having a birthday that day and I walked away. So of course, 2-3 things. First of all, that I came back from La Pep. The fact that I didn't enter car, I wasn't sure if they would.
They'll call you back.
But this particular lady and her cousin, they actually came to my office.
Wow.
But when you approached them first,
surprised.
it was for business.
Yes. No. He's a man of God, though.
I mean,
respect anointing.
I mean,
respect the office.
It was for business, and so 2 of them came. One was first class, one was not first class.
You cannot relate. You can relate to the second one.
Wow. I don't know what you've done for her, but yeah, your own today. So
if I speak.
So I had so usually what I used to do was I would tell people that while it's easy to just say you want to study abroad or you want to just Japa based on maybe your parents have money or you are a bookworm or to get a scholarship.
Yeah.
It usually starts with understanding what it is to actually maybe go do a master's abroad or what course you want to study.
Yeah.
So I usually invited students, and I mean this is one of the hacks that I used to meet people earlier when I was starting was come, I'll do free consultation and free personality tests because a lot of people did not know what they wanted to do.
We still do that from time to time.
Oh yeah, they definitely do that in the office from time to time.
Does she do it?
No, I don't know.
No. She doesn't carry her personality.
She
She doesn't do the counseling part. Don't be deceived. If you come to the office and you see her, just ignore.
She may not even look. She will not look. She'll be carrying laptop.
So just come to me, Sadiko, or look for me.
You don't want anybody outside to now know that you like book. It's only book. It's only
5-0 on the record.
We were still asking her last week. We were in the office last year. We were like, there's no babe in this office that people are sending cake to. And we were starting. Remember, we were starting that. In my former days of employment, there was one big from particularly the girl at the reception
front desk.
Yeah, I used to send cake regularly.
You were waiting on the Lord.
What's happening?
We're waiting on the Lord.
What's happening?
We're waiting on the Lord.
Wait
till when?
Receiving cake.
Receiving cake. People are waiting on the Lord.
You-
Admirers used to send them cake.
You did you send
I'm the
me
one that
cake?
sent-
Did you send me cake?
Let's focus.
Did you?
Why would I send
As your
them?
birthday-
Why would
as
you
your
send me
birthday- as your
cake?
birthday
Why should I?
My birthday is in August.
You're sending wrong
Yeah.
messages. Come on. Don't.
I should expose you.
don't. Back to Japa. Back to Japa. Back
I
to
realized that a
Japa.
number of things are happening in the office.
Back to Japa,
But-
please.
So they came to the office. Long story short, so I think she had studied sociology, but she was like, "Oh, Diko, I always loved like sports." So she
Nice.
loves sports, and she was like, when she was entering school, her popsy was not going to hear anything about going to school to go and read sports.
Sports management.
So we had those sessions. I looked at schools, and then of course France. So we found I think 2 or 3 schools in France. They're a bit pricey, and then we applied.
She wanted to go to France, or you suggested?
So she didn't mind France because she was already learning French.
Oh.
Or I can't remember if I was what I got her to go learn French, but she was already learning French, so it was a bit easier for her to even focus on France. Long story short, got her both admissions, even got her scholarship and whatnot. So that's my first. Yeah, I mean, like I said,
Fully funded.
King of Japa.
No, it wasn't fully funded.
King of Japa. That's
It
what I
wasn't
call
fully
him.
funded. So
I
yeah,
envy you, sir.
that experience is, and now we are very, very close. She's in the UK now. We're very, very close, and that really is. That's one very, very old experience.
France to UK.
Yeah. So okay, she has her mom is a UK
Citizen.
so she doesn't move to France.
Nice.
So
They have it easy.
yeah.
That's what. But when do you remember your first client? I think that would be something.
Oh yes.
Like your first actual client too.
The story.
His name was Samuel.
Sammy.
Wait, what year is this?
2016. So that's when I stopped paid employment. Right. And it's funny because now I'm out, like the story is out. People never really used to know that like I have a business, why I own a business because I'm that's how I like to play it.
Militant.
Yeah, I mean, so but I
Why are you looking
resigned.
like that? Are you?
I resigned. A funny story, right? Because you would think that the funny thing about this story is that you would think that this experience would actually just like catapult you up because I resigned. His dad called me maybe a week or 2 after. I was like, "Oh, Diko, I want you to do this. I want you to do that." I'm like, "Sir, I'm no longer working for this organization anymore. I'm looking to build my own thing." And I was like, "Oh, no." I said, "No, nothing. I just wanted to start my own thing." And I was like, "Okay, this is what happened. I want Sam to go to this school in Italy that we got an admission, blah, blah, blah. We need to go to Abuja and all that." So you can imagine starting a business and your first trip. Funny story. I had never entered a plane before then.
First flight.
Are you serious?
It was
First flight.
first flight. You remember the story? I've told you the story. Yeah. First flight. At that time, I think I was paid servicing 150K then. Yeah, and me and the guy went to France. France. I'm here in Paris. Yeah, he went to Abuja and we were there for 3 days. And it was in between my bed. I can't forget. 3rd of July to 5th of July. I was in Abuja.
Prophetic.
Airpiece. First.
But your first time you were on the plane was in 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to know my first time?
You know where I'm on the plane.
You want to know my
You've
first
not
time?
been on the plane.
This year.
Why you
This
did-
year, January.
Yeah, we had the comments.
Oh yeah,
we.
Mr. Dupo, you tried for her. You tried for her.
You're not
our
serious.
You tried for her.
You're
You
not
tried for her.
serious.
You tried for her.
You know,
This boy.
but we spent. It was not easy. We went from Ministry of Education, Foreign Affairs. It was really. But so thinking like, oh, that was my first experience. Ask me when I got my next client. Like November, December.
Since July.
I'm telling you.
So how are you surviving?
Dry season.
Prayer and fasting.
Fasting, no. I wanted to say.
You know, but it was. I was getting leads. I was building. I started doing it from home at the time.
It was just you, no one else.
Yeah, it was just me. So funny story. It wasn't just me because I have what I call silent partners in my business. Largely brothers who for instance, she built my first website and didn't collect 1 naira. In fact, another funny story. At that time, there was if you're into WordPress and whatnot, there was this theme that was trending at the time. So he had bought that theme. He wanted to use it for clients, right? But there was the one that the clients didn't seem to like it and was the best at the time. So he built my first website. So we used to work from his house free of charge. Silent partners. See you, boy.
See, what extraordinary, man. We're just out here doing things free.
See you, boy. So yeah, so he did it for me free. We're working from his house. He was interested. He was supporting me. He was also a digital marketer. So he was guiding me. So when I teased the communications team today on all my sufferings and learnings in communications, they do, when you're an entrepreneur, and you're involved in everything, So I was in his house for a couple of months, and I think the following January January or February, and then we now got into Baby Solar.
Nice.
Like you got who is Baby Solar?
Also, from our office, we had a co-working arrangement, so we'd rent.
I guess.
No, you don't. See you, they never get.
So that was my first client. Then I got my second client. Funny story again. I sent that one. I was going to India. Yeah, very, very funny. So people don't understand that one of my love for education, someone like me, it wasn't money driven. So I loved the challenge to learn to send someone to France, to learn someone to India. So even for my former organization, they were only focused on the big countries, UK, US, Canada. I wanted to go to Germany. I wanted to send people to Germany, Italy, Belgium, France, Spain, India, South Korea.
Was it like
Singapore.
a drive?
It was also a drive because I used to read. I read a lot. So Times Education would always show you the best schools in the world. Yeah. The best schools in the world weren't just always US or UK schools because those ones just get funded.
Actually.
So Germany had one of the best schools in the world. Belgium did. Singapore did.
Even Russia. Is Russia part of
I think
it?
Russia has a school in the top 100. Why are we talking about Russia?
Because back in the day, I know that back in the day, people used to
people used to go to
Russia and Ukraine.
Yes.
That
was for like medicine.
That
was for like medicine and all that.
Yeah, 3 years. So I love that challenge. So when I started my business, I didn't stop it. So I would tell people that I could send you anywhere. I was of course at that time I had the time to even be joining and saying I would do scholarship for you and all that. So the second person I can remember was Genome. Was a former colleague, and he wanted to go to India for IT because he loved.
But your previous employment was in travel zone.
Oh yeah, it was in education services, and we did a number of things. But study abroad was like one of the.
Was that what inspired you to start doing? Or it was already your thing?
Funny enough, you can say yes and no because I won't lie. I'm not the kind of person that would say that my experiences don't add up. But my very first experience in the whole study abroad space was 2011 or 2012 when I wanted to go do my master's. I wanted to go do my master's.
Story for another day.
Another day, right? So I got an admission. I thought I was going to get sponsored to the UK, but that didn't materialize. And I felt very disappointed and sad. So that was my first drive. And really and truly, I didn't want people to feel that way. So that was. But I didn't even know anything much about study abroad. So I just continued to work in education. So I'd worked in education in different parts of it. But the study abroad part was just something on the... So yeah, but then my last employment then and now. So what has really happened is that education has really changed with the influx of technology. So with EdTech now, you can sort of do almost anything and everything from, your laptop. And so that's really how I then fell. Someone said she fell pregnant. So I fell into that service. And so, I love to talk, I love to help you, I love to counsel. So it just was an easy transition. But I also love business. So I just fell into that, and
I don't know. I don't know why he's smiling and laughing.
No. Why do you love business? Because it's not
so
money driven.
I think it comes easy to me. My mom used to,
bad boy.
No, my mom used to tell me that. So my father was very good at business in his own prime. It just used to come easy. I'm very observant. I think the key things that make a successful business person are things that I just grew up naturally. And my mom also was an entrepreneur now, right, as a caterer. So I'm very observant. I love to learn. By the time you put A and B, and then of course if you are consistent, people will want to give you work, even when they don't know if you know it well or
True.
So those things really just helped. They just really helped. And so yeah. So and then funny story, with Ilewe education, I think in 2011 or 2012, I had asked my friends. We still used to use BlackBerry. When was BlackBerry still?
She wouldn't know.
Oh yeah.
What's the meaning of that? I know.
Trenches.
I know. I used BlackBerry.
Which one? 10?
I don't know the brand. I think it was LG BlackBerry. Walai. Sorry,
LG
had BlackBerry.
had the
I'm serious.
BlackBerry.
I'm serious. I'm very serious.
Fact check, please. You have to fact
There
check.
was one BlackBerry.
You can't be
I'm
giving
serious.
up. Fact check. Fact check.
I'm serious. I don't know. I don't know if it's LG. Wait. Calm down. I don't know if it's LG, but there was one BlackBerry thing. My father used it for a while, then he gave it to us.
We can't verify.
Moving on.
I don't know the brand again.
So moving on. So we were using the BlackBerry, and I put on my status that I was going to register. Like I was getting a business team, because in my readings I just realized that why was it that people didn't used to call their businesses what they really wanted, like culturally, that kind of thing.
They want to call you what people will accept.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and I didn't want that. And nobody was doing even anything in Yoruba. I never seen anything, right? So I had Akowe, Ilewe and all that. That's
Alakowe.
So I put on my status, I put on all my maybe secondary school into university groups, those kind of groups that you have all those your G's and all that. And I think not the way it is now. Then you just post it, right? I think Ilewe had more of the feel for me. I don't even know. I think Akowe actually won that poll, but I love
Akowe.
You rigged it. You rigged the poll.
So I picked Ilewe. So I bought the domain, ilewe.com. So it was when I resigned in 2016, was it April or May? That was when it all sort of just clicked. That's why I said yes and no, So Sean built the website, and then I started finding partners.
You held the Ilewe name from 2012.
I think I paid for it for like 4 years or 5 years.
Damn.
I paid for that. Who was good? How many people can think that way? Right.
Isaac, do you have such vision in life?
Wow.
Do you have vision that can stand?
So
in 4 years' time, come and talk to me. You have to go through my security.
So I got that. And so I registered my first business in 2013, Serenity. I shouldn't really say that.
Cut.
I registered my first business in 2013. So Ilewe was just there for me. And I love education. So that's really how I got there.
So basically, talking about all the Japa and everything, just got me. I just remembered something. I think recently I was thinking to myself, like, how does it feel for people who are left behind in Nigeria? Now, when I say left behind, I'm talking about people who do not have the resources that most people have to travel, and they would like to travel, but then they are seeing all their friends, everybody's Japa, and I see, how does it feel like now? I was just thinking that, oh my God, how do these people feel? How would they take it? It's kind of
the truth of the matter is, I think I'm the perfect person to answer that question, because I'm the only child of a single mom, and I wasn't born into. I think we talked about that. It wasn't silver spoon, right? It was a good mix of silver and maybe wooden, right?
Not even clay.
My dad wasn't really available, but my mom and her family tried to send me to school and at least go to good schools. So when I got to university, I actually thought I was not going to go to school. Oh yeah, because my mom didn't pay my SS3 school fees till my second or third year. Funny story.
Are you serious?
She didn't have money. She was going through a tough time. But when I finished school, people sort of just stood up. Her sisters. So I was going to go to, funny enough, I was going to see you. I wrote the exam, did the interview.
See you, did you
First list came, second list came, they didn't give me. Maybe it was because I picked elect. Maybe the Erukus were elected. I don't know why. Because I picked Unilag and Futa before. But Lead City was always there for me. And so I wrote the exam. I got the scholarship. I'm not yet there. Leeds City, I will make Leeds City as big as what comes.
Like,
why you shocked?
Fully funded, like the
Why
entire...
you shocked?
So I got like
No, I mean,
at least 80% of it, and private schools sort of pay around the same thing. Then I think it's paid. So
if you get
like
scholarship, as you be like this.
you know, so the truth about it is that I'm the perfect.
I want to play with you that on the next episode. I mean, it could just tell us or bring in someone else. I can't be in the same space with her.
We die here.
So that's really how that started for me. So my point is, with my results, even though I wanted to go do MSc computer science again because my first degree was computer with electronics, but I mean, see where I am now, I would have missed it, right? So I'm that perfect story. The truth of the matter is, for such people is, I mean, if you're lucky, you get to go to school, you come out with good grades and maybe scholarships.
Yeah.
But the reality is that that's also why Ilewe, exists. If I think about what I've done and what we plan to do, it's really to actually find the niche for people who are brilliant,
yes,
and want the opportunity and don't have those resources. So yeah, that's
we can help you. That's what
I saw a tweet, like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I laughed at it, but I don't know if there's a possibility. So someone dropped a video, and his girlfriend was doing backflip.
I beg.
His girlfriend was doing backflip.
With what?
Like she was doing baffling, like on the road, who were healing her and all that. So I think he noticed that people girlfriend they wear fine clothes, they go out, say my girlfriend do baffling. So someone was not like, instead of it to encourage her so she can find international scholarships with her talents.
Yes, and those are things that people don't know.
But I mean, is it that easy? Like the way she said it was like, oh, don't insult.
People don't have information. That's why.
Thank you.
That's why you don't.
And
know.
But I mean, how is backflip going to get a scholarship?
So, yes, they call it gymnastics, and I don't know what the other part of it is, but gymnastics like the core. And yes, so America, for instance, has something called they call the NCAA. It's like an association that sort of guides all their sports. The problem with Africa is that, and I'm letting out a bit here, is we don't have enough resources that showcases actual talent. We can showcase the brilliant talent. We know that Eunice has a first class, for instance. We don't have.
Hi guys.
But that talent is what is easy to showcase. That I went to BU, I have a first class. But there's some of us that could run. Like, trust me, I was much slimmer than this, and I was shorter, and I used to run very well. So I wasn't just brilliant.
You're shorter than this?
Oh yeah, trust me.
Are you serious?
So, funny story. One of my guardians used to call me brief. Like I was sad. I started getting
to call you what?
Brief. I wasn't sure that I was brief. You know.
Were you fat?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. So I used to run, but I loved football. We didn't have those opportunities. They'll tell you. I mean, you are getting A1 in maths. I began to focus on book.
Reminds me of Sterling.
Yeah. Wow. Is that right?
What's that? I don't get it.
Trust
you don't know Sterling.
If there were video clips of my secondary school and university, yes, something like that. Something like that.
Or Hazard,
yeah, my guy.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean that's it's been an interesting experience, and that's really that.
So I can come and meet you with my football talent, and then.
So,
guy, nobody football when they use lose weight. Nobody that time.
Nobody by Saturday.
That's skills.
So you guys come and watch me.
What usually happens for? And I remember I went for a client meeting in Lekki, and they were trying to. The boy wants to go school abroad and all that, but he wants to play football, and he's been trying. But he's even from a wealthy family. But from the age of 13, for children abroad, by 13, they already know you're a star. So maybe for here, right? Maybe from 14, 15, SS to SS3. Perhaps with technology, you can begin to record videos, showcase yourself, and then apply for admission and then apply for some sort of funding. But that will still require some help. Because if they tell you to come for a tryout, if they don't come here to see you, if they don't send scouts, for instance, to see you, how are you going to get to the US? I mean, Japa, Madam Japa, how much will it cost you? So, for you to just get from here to the US, ticket alone, on a good day is about 700K. Like on a cheap
cheap
plan ahead of
economy.
Time.
cheapest.
And that's really so. See, Eunice was asking now. It's not just the resource that people don't have. It's that I even have talents that they need, but I can't get there. And I mean, if you watch basketball, look at Joel Embiid. He's a Cameroonian. He didn't start play basketball until like a year before he got into the university, and now he's like the best player.
Like he wasn't playing.
He wasn't playing. Look at Giannis. They didn't have the. They didn't even have the like resources. They didn't. He just used to play football. But the opportunity came, the NBA did the whole NBA Africa thing, and that's how his life changed. Now he's on his second or third contract, probably made like $200-300 million already net.
Whereas we still get many people for street.
And you know, the funny thing was, growing up, I don't know if you guys remember, you probably don't know, but Milo used to do this Milo basketball.
Yeah.
Where was Milo basketball?
I used to see it. Where? I used to see the ad. I remember very well. And they use it to do ad self. I remember very well. I remember.
So it's funny, but that's like a long-term vision. We probably cannot do that right now. And you know, everything's about interest. If the interest comes, like if the NBA does NBA Nigeria, all of a sudden you say everybody is looking to do it. Yeah, interest is really what determines all that. So I mean, we have Ilewe, which is, I mean, if you school in the Southwest, you know that Ilewe really is talking about school. So we sort of have consolidated that over the last 7 years. And then we now started, I mean, what is Japa Chronicles actually started with? Like Japa Limited, which is, you know, a new arm. She's grinning from here to here because that's her brand. That's her brand. That's her, yeah.
Why you?
Hello. When you own your own brand, your own baby, in 4 years.
Alakowe, what do you call it?
In 4 years. In 4 years, you can shake your body.
So Eunice, tell us about immigration. I mean, Japa is.
I mean, it's your baby now, so you should know your baby.
I mean, I think the first thing about immigration that I realized is that immigration has been since before our time. It won't change. If you move from here to the UK for school, that's immigration. If you go for work, that's immigration. If you decide to go to Canada today, so for permanent residency, that's immigration. If you decide to go to Europe, anywhere that you're moving from point A to point B, either to school, to work, or to leave, that's immigration.
What are visits?
That's immigration.
But has it ever been this rampant? Like people leaving?
Yes, I think it has always been. I think it's also a season.
So, but why is it now like there's this Japa
wave?
Yeah.
In Nigeria. Actually across countries, because now we see people even in the UK trying to move to Canada.
Because growing up, I mean, I had friends that left Nigeria like with their families when I was young, but it wasn't this. Like now, my friends.
I have some who I mean, they don't boot now. They know they come back. I have some that have gone and they've come back. So wealth is also a very key factor. Like you know, there's everything rich and wealthy. So the rich will go and not look to come back. The wealthy can go and come anytime.
Come back. Go back. However,
you know, so some people go. They want their children to get the best in undergraduate school. And I mean, if you go to Canada at undergrad, it won't be long before you become a citizen.
I have this guy. So today we used to ask him why he did undergrad in Canada and he's in Nigeria now. Like all of us did Nigeria, they also together. I'm like, bro, why didn't you just stay?
It's the same thing people ask. Probably the question that I get, particularly when people like me, like if you talked over the phone and they just like me, Mr. Dipo, why are you here? There's some questions that you cannot answer. Actually. And even when you try to answer it, will make sense to people.
But I mean, I'm going to be on the spot. Like, do you have plans like in the long run?
To Japa?
Yeah.
Nah. Realistically, my immigration journey will just be go, come.
Visits. Business.
You know, just like it's funny, we'll go back to election. We're seeing that cycle. Just like people say I'm a trader, right? I'm an educationist. So my journey would transition the education to leadership. I'm not, it doesn't make sense to people, but I can't leave Nigeria the way it is. And you know, you have a talent, you can help people get to where they want to go. It doesn't mean I have to go to where they're going, you know. So my talent is helping people. I excel in helping people. I'm that friend that you want to have. You ask for anything, I'm one phone call.
Mr. Resourceful.
And that's really the truth. I am
Yeah.
very resourceful. And it's because the hack behind resource is maintaining good relationships. Respect people, be nice to people, be friendly. When you do that, people want to be your friend. And when people want to be your friend, they trust you. And so that's really the circle of life. So I have a talent for guiding people to where they want to go. And so, I mean, before we started now, I was talking to someone in Canada, and I send you abroad, but I'm still so close to you. If I'm closer to you when you are there than when you were here.
Let me give a funny or a story.
Mm-hmm.
So before I joined Leeway, what I do for Leeway, I used to do it
with other people.
No, just like on my own, like
okay,
freelance, exactly. So I have this guy that I helped with his school SOP. I helped with his visa LOI and even cover letter when he wanted to get a job and
all that.
Yeah. And he reached out to when he got his. That was like. He got his visa 2021 January, and he went and everything. And he checked up on me like frequently, regularly. So he's like, oh, he's coming to Nigeria soon for his wedding.
Wow.
Funny enough, I wrote his wife's LOI too. So he said he's coming to Nigeria for his wedding and he wants me to be on part of his groomsmen.
Wow.
And the wedding's happening in Abuja and like he would pay for my ticket and everything. Like,
hey.
I have never set eyes on this guy
that's
before.
Relationships.
Isaac.
Why are you looking at me?
That's relationships. I think she's jealous.
Do you want to get married soon?
I'm
just asking.
No, dear, give me 2 years.
This is a Japa podcast.
Give me 2 years minimum.
This is a Japa podcast. And that's really what it does. Immigration does so much of that also. Immigration and relationships is like 5 and 6.
5 and 6, yes.
So like I was telling you guys that everybody in my club is already... Too many of my people are like, if I want to go to certain countries now, I don't think I can. I don't think I can book a hotel, except I don't tell people I'm coming.
Like there's always accommodation for you,
bro. Estonia. If I go to Estonia today, I will not pay for accommodation.
Mr. Japa,
that's how far.
Which country how many countries have you sent people to?
So how many Schengen countries? I have people. Okay, so.
Answer, how many Schengen?
No, I think there are 27 Schengen countries.
He's in the office. I used to get that Schengen.
Estonia, Belgium, Lithuania, Germany, of course, Italy, France. That's 6.
Yes,
which
we quiet.
Popular? Then of course there's the Canada.
Yeah, Nigerians in all these places.
Yes, now.
Lithuania.
There are Nigerians.
I'm sure
I have students in Saudi Arabia who have gone. Yes, now. Anyway, let me tell you something about. So back to Eunice's very great question of resource and all that. There are certain countries that just want people that are brilliant. Trust me, scholarships in Japan. I have a lady in my cycling club who is finishing his fellowship in Japan. What's it called? Saudi Arabia, full scholarship, masters and PhD. The big countries always want the best talent. And that's the hack that Nigeria hasn't figured out. So when you tell me to Japa, I mean, not to brag, I am one of Nigeria's best talents. So if I go abroad, I'm going to give the white man my brain. I'll work for the white man. No, I want to be here.
But I mean, people are doing it now. I saw something yesterday morning about how senior doctors in Nigeria are leaving. Yes. Doctors that have been in the game 20 years plus, they're leaving and they're going there. And like someone said, bro, in 3 years' time, they're going to be earning like 200k pounds.
Yeah.
They're not in their 20 years of this year.
And even though they are heavily taxed, maybe you pay 40% tax, 50% tax, you're still fine. Like you go, like you're still fine. But we can't know Japa, and if we're going to talk about immigration now, I mean, some people so I think there's millennials and there's Gen Z. I don't know if millennials started from 2000 or 1990 or something, I don't know. But this generation of 35 and under. So for instance, now Portugal has job seeker visa. That means I can send you to Portugal to just go there and find job. Not that you find the job here, yes. Whereas other countries, you find a job here, like UK,
they know you don't have a job here.
You don't have a job. You go there and then hunt. So immigration and migration, like these things have been. There's so much. A lot of it is research. A lot of it is reading. Now, the other thing that I would say is trust. A lot of people want to go through the corners. People don't want to go through straightforward means. Everybody wants something sweet.
A client reached out to me yesterday about his wife, real wife, fake wife. I was like, sorry, we don't do that. I said, sorry.
Disclaimer,
You
man.
say
I'm
that
not.
real
we
life
don't.
fake life.
You can't find us doing that.
We don't go through the
One of-
corners.
One of the things that when people come to me and they've gone to the big brands, so either I'm competing with the big brands for their clients, or they've been there and they've been messed up and they come to me.
Yes.
One of the things that I tell them is that it's not by making noise. In fact, I have clients who legit have told me that, oh, Mr. Diko, you are too good for you not to be making so much noise. And I'm like, no, those things are relative. Because one of the problems with if you chase everything, and I mean in that part of the world is naira and dollar that everybody's chasing, you lose your way. Like when you chase everything, you lose your way. And so one of the biggest problems is the podcast I can't name. Like some of your biggest eateries today, they started well. They're everywhere. What's the food tasting like? Whereas the one that we all go to regularly that only has three eateries in Lagos. Exactly. I'm sure she's thinking about it. You know?
Okay.
Our regular spots. Our regular spots. How often do we complain about food? If ever. Right on time. Well managed.
Quality is great.
Quality assurance. So these are things that you learn. So maybe I picked that up from my mom because my dad had plenty. From the stories I heard, he had plenty businesses in all over North and South, but I didn't meet them. Like just like I don't even think I was 5 before those things. But my mom would only do according to her size. So maybe that's why I picked that up. But that's quality assurance, you know. So that's that. So Eunice, what do you want to tell us about migration? I mean, with Japa, we only do Canada immigration.
Canada immigration.
For my Japa Limited.
Yeah. So my
visiting visas to all countries.
Yes. So
All.
when we say all is that if that country has a great relationship with Nigeria, that's what I tell them in the office. And like we can do it. Of course, I'm not going to do Saudi Arabia and whatnot, but like generally Schengen countries and like the big 5 is generally what we will say. Eunice likes money. That's
People actually rushing Australian visa now.
Yes.
Has the bad PR we have as Nigerians outside ever affected business?
It's affecting us right now. It's difficult for anybody to get a UK visa. I was on a call. Yes, I was on a call today with somebody, and she was like, "Mr. Diko, I schooled abroad. I used to go to UK like, you know that
water.
I know somebody. I have like a big sister. She used to work in the bank. She goes to the UK Friday, and she comes back Sunday. Yeah. I told you there's riches and there's wealth. She'll go for shopping, buy stuff for all her friends, her first children, and then be back with it on.
Guy, you're in this shopping.
So my point is that this woman is wealthy. She was talking to me today like, oh, like my husband put money in and they denied her. So what is happening is that, bro, if these countries used to like rate us like, okay, 2/10, 3/10, we're like now 0.
But you know the surprising twist.
Because I was going to say minus, but like,
there's a surprising twist that really got me thinking, Kilo Shele, what's happening?
Yeah.
Because the US recently increased visiting visa for Nigerians from 2 to 5 years. Like,
how easy is it for your people? We can't talk about doing appointments.
Yeah, the appointment dates we know, but why are they increasing?
My brother and sister,
people will rush them more now.
So like I've got this family that sort of took care of me. So you know, culturally, I have like brother and sister, right? These of them are they're graduating in May. They're graduating in May 1, 3, 2 years. So May this year. And the next visa appointment for US is 2024.
Yes. It's always a year or
2
years.
That's the first thing with US. Secondly, people are getting denied. So I try to say in the office that it's by God's grace.
But why you're trying to go to school?
So when you're trying to go to school, people are still getting denied.
The appointment date set for school, they'll be looking for it.
Yes.
So,
someone called me yesterday and said that she's been trying to get her siblings to the US for 2016.
Jesus, that was like 7 years.
7 years.
Mm-hmm. And she said plenty agents have but somebody from UK referred us and all that. So it's not easy to say, to not say immigration. And of course, people don't want to. You see, one of the problems in Nigeria, and for some of us who you send to school to read and whatnot, one of the problems we have is that people don't want to read and people don't want to do the right thing. So I tell people, if you want to work with us, you want to do the right thing. I don't want to. I want to game the system in that, yes, I'm streetwise, but to like fraudulent documents, lying about this, lying about. I don't want to be in that mix.
Nope.
And that's what actually keeps us successful. But people don't want to agree to that.
Yeah, because people like to, as it comes, they just want to take, you have your documents, take. They don't review and all that.
Nigerians like the fast. Yes. Don't get anyhow.
Funny, and while we wrap up, we're wrapping up now, but I was thinking about it the other day. I think we're on like 12, in football, we that watch football, I don't know, Eunice just likes Ronaldo.
We.
Oh, you like Ronaldo?
Yeah.
Oh, you like Ronaldo?
Hey, it's not.
You like Ronaldo?
Now I know.
Do you like Ronaldo?
So we that love football,
so now you know
when a team has won like 10 games straight, like 15 games straight, in the immigration business, getting visa is like winning streak.
Yes.
And in the office, for instance, now
it's like the gold medal.
We've never been denied UK visa. Canada is hard for us to get denied now. I think we're like maybe 11 game winning streak or so, that kind of thing. So one of the things that people don't understand is when you come to me, you're trying to get me to work with you and all that. When you finish, means I'll now start my own. Sorry, do you have this? Do you have this? If you don't have those things, I don't want to work with you.
You want to talk about the 6 days zone that people don't believe.
And
if
it no day, day. People are on our Instagram saying it's a lie. I knew in my mind, I'm like
6 days.
First of all, in my own mind, I think my naivety, I'm like, I'm not even. I don't even know how to lie.
But I mean, I understand why it's even surprising, because even yesterday when I was in the office, there was an LOI I wrote just last week. My team lead told me, they requested for the person's medicals. I'm like,
is this guy? Is this guy here to? Is he following his? What are you promoting?
I'm like,
woo.
Isaac is bragging.
I'm like, he's working.
I'm like,
yeah.
1 week.
So if you understand the system, right? And I mean, we have a conference coming up in Lagos this Saturday, and we'll have more coming up
25th of
in
March.
the next couple of weeks. But if you know how to do something, your results will show. It won't be the other way around, And I mean, I'm also happy to announce that I am now a Canadian. What's that English that we call it?
It's too heavy for me.
It's too regulated consultant for the College of Agency. Is that all this big English? Sure now, So there's some consistency to it. Some people lie about. I could have been lying for years that when I started, I am a consultant for this. I can do this and do that. So, and that's really not what I want to be associated with. And there's a track record. I mean, again, look at PO now.
I knew you were going to say that.
I will remember this guy. Look at PO at 60, no track record.
Hey.
So I'm trying to do another 30 years of no blemish, and
just good work, straight. Yeah. So, what's happening at the conference?
Study about conference. We are going to have one at the Zone on Bagada on Saturday. But we hope to. We're actually going to do the island VI. We're going to do Ibadan, Abuja, but those dates will be communicated. But Saturday 25th.
I want to go for Abuja, so
the Zone Event Center Bagada.
Put me in your plans.
What did you say?
In short, I am going for Abuja.
There's office ballots. Who wants to go for it?
I am going.
No.
So
we can't be in the same place.
Hope it's not that weekend. Come, no, we're doing for 1 week.
For 1 week.
In short, na vacation.
So I think the best person to answer this question is Eunice as we wrap up. Is Eunice, why did we start Japa Chronicles? What was it? I remember the Twitter bans. I'm probably going to include a couple of them in the video.
Suya. So some people were saying different things, sharing experiences. Some people were saying things like, I think somebody tweeted that for this abroad now, where I go find Suya.
Yes, exactly.
Suya spot. And then we saw a lot of things that time.
Our Bolu, who is in the UK, is looking for Kilishi.
Exactly.
So there's so much to be chronicled. There's so much to talk about, to laugh about, to share about. and that's really why we started Japa
Japa
Chronicles.
I saw a picture of someone in UK was holding bread. The name was Abuja bread. With Nigerian map on it.
Exactly.
The thing killed me.
You know, so I don't know. This is a good place to put a bow on our conversations today. My name is Oladipupo Adebowale. I now have a social media page at Immigration Doc.
Doctor.
No, I'm not. I'm not a doctor, but I mean, doctors spend like 7-8 years in school now, and so after hitting that
in Nigeria, 8 years plus. But moving on.
After hitting that experience,
Don't mind him.
let Apoko doctor hear you. But after hitting that space of spending so much time, I mean, I can say I'm an expert. I tell clients today, again, she's saying if you didn't, they didn't. When you call me and you say you want to, you say other people don't charge. I say, they can't do it like I can do it.
Yes.
King of Japa.
It's not bragging. You want the best. I am the best.
He's
him.
You are him.
You know, for our football, right? Ronaldo is better between you and Messi. Me, I don't.
We don't do that.
I'm humble,
No,
but I don't have time to. I don't have time to do all that. I mean, go. Messi wants to be doing more assists. I want to win. I don't.
Ronaldo is good.
4 straight champions. All those kind of things.
5.
So on Japa Chronicles, we will talk about Japa. We will bring guests. We have some interesting guests lined up. We talked about people who don't go abroad, come back. We will bring some of the top guys in different fields. They will come and share their experiences. And we hope that we'll be doing this twice a month. The video recordings and maybe the audio recordings will continue every week.
Eunice not featuring anymore, but we'll talk about that.
You never can tell. Even in our office now, everybody did Japa.
This one that you are saying is because of the lights. Meet me in the office. This one. Don't worry.
I think that's a good place to put a bow on it. Isaac, final word.
Just focus on yourself. The times right in the next 8 years, just brace yourself.
Why do all of you say 8 years? How do you just look at 4 years?
You said 4 years before. You see that you don't have vision. You said 4 years before. Now you're saying 8 years. Vision.
I think
vision.
I think Isaac is also defeated.
No, I'm very defeated. I'm just trying to.
All right. See you guys at the next episode. It promises to be very interesting. We may be bringing a guest or not, but we'll be telling you about the latest
Depends
stuff.
on Eunice's effectiveness.
Can you take my name off your mouth?
Thank you guys.